Hey Buji, do you think this video is gonna get a lot of views?
0.18%.
Even Buji is trolling me. Anyway, let's review the sci-fi blockbuster. Welcome guys, welcome to Buddies and Blockbuster. I'm your host AJ. I just came to my house right after watching Kalki 2898 AD and yes, we had a premiere show. I'm not sure if it's releasing in India on Wednesday. I believe it's releasing tomorrow. But in the US, we had it premiering today. I wanted to go one, of course, to get views. But also to give you guys a heads up on how it is, initial reactions. Second, for my American audience, if it's worth spending a lot more for the tickets, because I'm not super sure about how much it costs in India, but it's a lot more US for these tickets. So is it actually worth going this week to get the feel of it, or would it be better for you guys to wait for another week where I'm pretty sure the ticket price would come down? Stay tuned and find out. Dive into the movie itself. And I just want to put this out there as a movie lover, as a guy who loves to go and watch a lot of movies. I've watched Star Wars, I watched Dune, Mad Max Fury Road, and all that good stuff. This didn't surprise me in terms of the visuals and stuff. It's not like, oh my god, it's something that I've never seen before. But as an Indian, for an Indian movie, this is you've got to appreciate what the director Nagy has done and showcased, mainly around visuals and creating this epic component and the cinematography that has been displayed. I mean, there's a reason why the budget has been so high. It's because of these visuals, plus of course the star-studded cast. But I've got to say that, you know, whether it's the shots of the different places and this world building that the director has shown us, it's all true. You've seen the trailers. It's one for the ages. It's setting us to the next stage. And as an Indian, I'm actually super proud to see, hey, it's not just about Hollywood, right? We have potential and we're showcasing it. All our movies coming up, and you've seen this rise of great movies coming in this year. One of the stepping stones towards the future. And now, leaving that piece aside, let's go to the story. Aside from being a sci-fi movie, which it definitely is, it's also a mythic movie, which has a lot of Mahabharata vibes. There's a lot of connections there. I'm gonna try my best to not spoil anything and not disclose much, because this is a spoiler-free review. We have kind of three places or kind of worlds going here in the future. I mean, there's a reason why it says 2898 AD, right? Because we're 6,000 years in the future. It's good at all in terms of survival and humanity. Everything is in the brink, and of course we have the rich and poor piece going on. So there's three of them, which are the primaries here. One of them is Kashi, basically one of the last city where everybody is in, but it's not a good look. Everybody's suffering, not proper food and stuff like that. But also within that, you know, Kashi is ruled by folks from Complex, and Complex is another place or city on its own in this whole kind of plot, but it's ruled by Supreme Yaskin, who is the antagonist of this movie. And of course, you all know this. It's Kamal Hassan, who's the supreme leader. Yes, he's menacing, just like the trailers. Whatever you see in the trailer, that's what you're going to get in terms of fear and his intentions about what he wants to do. I cannot disclose what's the actual kind of reason and stuff that he wants to do, but I think he did a great job in kind of showcasing that. Folks who are expecting a lot from Kamal Hassan don't, because his screen time is way too less. So he's building up to something big, right? So he has somebody second in command who's taking care of stuff. It's Commander Manas by Saswata Chatterjee. I think he did a good job being a number two, menacing and stuff like that, but his dialogue delivery did have a couple of comedic moments there, which was pretty cool. And we have Shambhala, which is kind of its own world, and it's hidden from everything else. And we have all the rebels as well as cultures living in like a safe haven where it's disclosed. If you guys have watched Black Panther, where you have like a shield and stuff like that, it's basically that vibe going. Everybody in Shambhala is basically expecting the return of God, mainly a mother who's going to carry the next kin, right? That piece was portrayed in the best way possible, and there's a reason on why the time frame of this movie is close to 3 hours, is because the director wanted us to understand what is taking place in each of these, you know, worlds or each of these places, because three of them are way different than the other. Now let's move based on all of these components. Let's move to the cast because I'm pretty sure everybody's expecting a lot of great performances, right? I've got to stop with Amitabh Bachchan at this age. Oh, if there was an Oscar award for me, I would give it to him because he steals the show, and he's the trendsetter, commanding voice as well as the way how he carries himself throughout the whole movie. It's nothing like it. And there's a reason why he's the Bacha of the industry. This is why he's the legend, and I think he did a great job. They've also made him a bit like bigger and taller. He's already tall, but let's think that he's a bit more taller and big because there was a couple of shots where you have Amitabh Bachchan and Prabhas. Prabhas, being the big guy he is, looks smaller to Amitabh Bachchan. So he nailed it in terms of his character, the depth that he has, and the pain that he goes through. It's shown in his expressions and the way the fight scenes was just awesome. The one piece I would say is praise the CGI, but the only one piece that I didn't like is the CGI of his younger self. At some points when he was talking, there was like it didn't feel right. Everybody else around him was not CGI because it was just their own faces and stuff like that, but they had to make him the younger Amitabh, right? Maybe they should have spent a bit more money on that piece if the focal point was this character. But aside from that, I think he stole the show. No, everybody was expecting Prabhas to do that. I honestly think this is Amitabh's movie. A second main piece is Deepika Padukone. God, I know she's pregnant now. The movie she has to kind of act like she's pregnant, and I think she did a wonderful and beautiful job in portraying this character. It was emotional. It was even in her dialogues. I believe that she was the only one who spoke in Telugu. Came out so good. I didn't feel off and stuff like that, so I liked it. Emotions because it's more of her depth, the eagerness to make sure that this kid is safe and sound, and she wants to kind of live together in the future. That connection was something that's really good. I find this innocence in her eyes and expression. I really like that. And the two of them, because Amitabh, based on the trailer, I'm not spoiling this, is kind of protecting Deepika. That bond and that connection. There's this one scene where he kind of calls her Amma, that was touching. I really like the bond that they have. Now, let's talk about my favorites, Prabhas. I'm going to be very honest. I'm a Prabhas fan. I love what he does. He always shatters mold from Bahu. He's doing from Bahubali. He's been doing this for the industry. But in this movie, maybe Amitabh Bachchan was just too much in terms of presence that he got overlooked. To be told, first half I was not super pleased with the vibe that he was bringing to the table. It didn't match with the vibe of the movie. If you know what I mean. This is just my opinion. Don't kill me and stuff. This is just what I felt because I was more connected. Ashwatthama as well as Sumati and her journey, and when they go back and forth between these stories because it's like multiple plots going. I didn't feel much connection with Prabhas's character at the first half. Too much of being comedy. Maybe if the whole movie's vibe was more of a comedic component, then fine, I would have be on board. But the first half with his piece with DishaPatani, I know what the director was trying to do is he wanted to showcase he's a bounty hunter, so his only objective is to get those bounties and the money to go to Complex because he wants to live this rich life and never worry about any money. I get the point, but because this huge other piece is going in the background in terms of the other plots and the storyline, this component didn't make sense. But in the second half, when things start to change, it turns into a serious note, and there's these fights between Ashwatthama and Bhairava. Oh, that's the best. The combo between the two where Ashwatthama can beat anybody's ass, right? Bhairava is never going to give up, and every time he comes back, he's improving, he's getting new skills and stuff like that, and making sure that he can beat this huge guy was awesome, as well as the tone that shifts in his eyes is pretty cool to see. There's a couple of cameos, and aside from those three pillars of the movie, there's a bunch of cameos. I cannot close it. I think everybody around the cast did what they had to do. Do I think this movie should have been closer to 3 hours? I don't think so. They should have reduced it a bit. There's a couple of plots that I mentioned in the first half that could have been reduced. In terms of writing, I wasn't kind of blown out by it, but I love the fact that Indian cinema is heading into this direction, and I got to experience it. Now, Do you need to spend $25 to $35 in the US to watch this movie this week? I don't think so. You can wait. You can go next week. You should definitely experience this in the theater because of the cinematic components and the visuals. Don't do the crazy job that I did. I did your job. I saved you from it, right? To me, based on the cast, and Amitabh Bachchan and Deepika Padukone stealing the show, fight scene, as well as just the visuals. I think we're heading in the right direction, and the next parts that's going to come in. Looking forward to Kamal Hassan's character doing a lot more damage, because I'm fearful of that. The character, he's a menace. To me, it's more of a 3.5, maybe a 3.75 range in my eyes. Again, don't kill me, just my opinion. But I have a question for you guys. Not sure if you guys have watched it yet, but if you watch it, what do you guys think? Are you guys in the same boat, or do you feel like this is the best thing that's ever happened? Be sure to put it in the comments. And as always, guys, like, subscribe, and share.